Right, we now come to the urgent question. Steve Darling.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I rise to ask that the Secretary of State for the Department of Work and Pensions makes a statement in respect of the changes to PIP payments and how this will impact on those who receive Carers Allowance.
Hear, hear.
Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm grateful to the honourable member for his question. The Pathways to Work Green Paper sets out our plan to fix a broken system, providing proper employment support for those who can work and a strong and sustainable safety net for everybody who needs it. We will change personal independence payment to focus support on those in the greatest need. That change will be in primary legislation for full debate and scrutiny in Parliament. The costs of personal independence payment have increased by £2 billion above inflation in each of the last 5 years, and those increases are carrying on. That is simply not sustainable. In the Green Paper, we're consulting on how best to support those affected by the changes to eligibility, for example, with transitional protection for those no longer eligible, and indeed for the entitlements linked to it, including Carers Allowance referenced in the honourable member's question, and the universal credit carer element as well. That's an increasingly important part of the picture. The PIP changes will be implemented from November next year. They will apply to new claimants and to people at their award review after that date. Those with severe conditions who will never work will be protected. But I do want to pay tribute to the millions of unpaid carers across the country. We recognise and value their vital contribution, providing care and continuity of support, including to many people with disabilities. 2021 census indicated around 5 million people in England and Wales doing some unpaid care. We are delivering the biggest ever cash increase, as the honourable member knows, in the earnings threshold for Carers Allowance, increasing it by £45 a week to £196, benefiting more than 60,000 carers by 2029-30. Our reforms will build a system that's fairer and more sustainable, so it will always be there for those with the greatest needs to live with the dignity and the support that they are entitled to.
Steve Darling.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yesterday saw the biggest cuts to Carers Allowance for decades. Whilst we need to manage down appropriately the benefits budget, this needs to be done in a way that is caring and compassionate and far from rushed that we saw yesterday. We are looking at approximately 150 carers losing allowances under these proposals. £500 million will be taken away from those who care. The Joseph Rowntree Foundation, Mr. Speaker, suggests that there are some couples that will lose £12,000 a year when one takes account of PIP cuts and carers cuts. Whilst I welcome the Chief Secretary's apology yesterday around his references to pocket money, would the Secretary of State agree with me that it is inappropriate to compare cuts to PIP to cuts to pocket money?
Minister.
Well, I'm grateful, and I very much agree with him that this all needs to be done in a managed and compassionate way. That is exactly how we are doing it. I don't agree with him that it's being rushed. As I've said already, the changes won't happen for over 18 months until November 2026. That's when the change will take effect, and they won't affect current recipients of personal independence payment until their first award review after November 2026, and typically review periods are 3 years. So this is definitely not being rushed. It will happen in a properly planned and staged and careful way. He referred to couples losing £12,000. Now, I think he must be referring there to instances, and he's right, there are some instances, of people who themselves receive personal independence payment and also receive carers allowance for caring for their spouse. And there are couples where that happens both ways. And the transitional arrangements that we are consulting on, that are referred to in the Green Paper, do need to take account of that incidence. But what I'd say to him is that it's absolutely the right thing to do to make sure that personal independence payment continues in the long term, that it's a sustainable benefit system. We do have to make some reductions. I think he acknowledged that, and if he's got another idea for how it can be done, I'd be interested to know what that is. I think by concentrating on those who are those whose impairments are the most severe, which is what the proposed changes will do, we will be able to ensure the benefit is there for the long term and also make sure that it's sustainable.
David Pinto Dutchinson.